Mark the X. This is AM 970 WSTX.
Anita, I love you so.
All right, we're back. We're back with AM Friday with yours truly, Doc Peterson and Peter Abrahams. And I have in the studio with me some lovely young people, 5, 6 of them, as a matter of fact, and I'm not including you two, Doug.
Oh my goodness, I was just starting to glow.
And they were here to talk about some trip that they took, and they raised some fun. Doug, fill me in on that.
Well, first of all, Doc, you remember I would come in here and we would be talking about these young people that were raising funds and they were having their car wash and so forth and so on. And so I wanted to bring them back because they were raising funds to go off to a special event, which I'll let them talk about that.
Right.
But the fact that they took the initiative, exercised the work ethic, and reached out to the public, and the public was so responsive that they wanted to come back basically and say thank you. Like the parable. How many got help and how many came back. I said thank you, right?
Yeah.
But they're here to meet you. And also to thank the public for the support. And with that, I'm going to step away and let them introduce themselves and talk about their experience.
Good morning, my name is Hector Acosta Jr.
Good morning, my name is Tion Grant.
Good morning, my name is Tamia Kaling Grant.
Good morning, my name is Shakeem Crossley.
Good morning, my name is Diara Kantan.
And we are youth that are a part of the Trinity Wesleyan Holiness Church. First off, we would just like to say a big thank you out to the community for supporting us with all the funds that we raised for our trip to go to Jamaica for the 9th Wesleyan Youth Congress. That is basically with all the different districts across the Caribbean that are Wesleyan. We come together and we fellowship together in one congregation. The trip was a very good experience, not only as youths in our community were serving the Lord, but we also get to experience being in the presence with others who have a strong faith in God. And I'll just give a little bit of what the schedule was like in Jamaica. When we first reached there on Sunday, we had the opening ceremony where we saw the different Caribbean countries that were there. And from that point on, we had different sessions that talked about spirituality, self, sexuality, and service. We also had a tour day in which we got to tour the island of Jamaica, which was probably most of the youth's favorite day. And I'll just turn it over to Tamia to talk about the tour itself and what was her experience.
My experience of the tour was really good. Our tour guide, she was very interactive with us. Everything we passed, she mentioned to us. We took a tour. We were in the forest and we met a lot of people in there. We got to ride camels. We got to walk into a house that was built. A tree was planted in there by Winston Churchill. So we got to experience a lot of things. Then we went to Ochorios, which is a dolphin cove. We got to experience that. We got to hold parrots and interact with animals, but we didn't get to actually go in the water with the dolphins because it was too late for us. So it was a really good experience for us.
Would you have gone in with the dolphins if you're given a chance?
Yes, I would have.
All right, you're brave. All right, who's next? Come on.
Okay, Tion Grant again. Well, the tour was kind of uplifting experience in which I was able to interact with animals, as Tamia said, and see most of Jamaica. I've been there when I was around 7, 8, but to go back when I'm older and also be able to interact with people from all over the Caribbean was an amazing experience. For me, it was mostly like reuniting with old friends that I met 2 years ago in another area camp for the Wesleyan Church.
Right.
So,
did you remember a lot of when you went there at 7 years old versus now. How old are you now?
I'm 17.
Okay, so 10 years ago. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mostly remembered all the animals because I have a strange love for animals.
Yeah.
So I remember all the zoos we went to. But like the scenery was a lot different.
Yeah.
I was accustomed to like a lot more trees and all that, but it's more city-like to say
Right.
where all
So
the
maybe this time you stayed more in the city area
Yeah.
versus out in the country area. Huh?
Yes, but I enjoyed the sun. It was a little hot, but it was nice, and then it had the beach, the pool, so I got to use a bit of that.
Right.
So,
Then
fun experience.
if there was one thing that you would say that you learned from this trip concerning the your religious beliefs, then what would that be?
Well, one thing I learned is that even though we feel that we can't control the situation and how life goes, that it's better to let God take control of your life, because in the end, He knows what's going to happen.
Right.
So it just brought that back to me. So I maybe to, since I'm going back to school, just to know that God is in control of my life, and it's easier instead of me trying to take over, especially with these classes. Just having God to help me and give me the strength to go through.
But you know, you have to put some effort into into it and work
you have
towards
to.
it, right? Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You have
All
to,
right, this other one here trying to run away. All right, that's and go ahead. You were going to say
also, along with our trip, we're also at the ending of the trip we had a banquet night in which we all a formal setting where we all sit down, and I'll let Shakim talk a little bit about that.
Okay. All right, Shakim, get up to the mic.
Okay, good morning once again. My name is Shakim, and I'm going to be talking about Banquet. Banquet was a very good night, actually, because we got to interact with many different people of many different cultures, and we got to see how it feels to be around different youths that are Christians just like us. And there at the banquet, they announced the winners who took part in the different activities.
What did you win?
We actually came third place for the singing portion.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But overall, everybody had a good experience.
Yeah.
And the banquet was a great night.
Oh, good. Fantastic. What did you eat?
Oh, I ate a lot. I ate fish, rice. They had many different
You mean
food.
to tell me they had no curry chicken and ackee and saltfish?
No, they didn't.
They had the ackee and saltfish and the jerk.
Oh yeah,
The jerk
because I know you
chicken.
can't go Jamaica
Yeah.
without
man.
without having that. All right, we got another young lady over there that hasn't said anything yet. Tell us a little bit about your experience and the trip. Get right up to the mic. Don't be afraid. Your daddy ain't gonna do you nothing.
Good morning again. My name is Diara, and I'm going to talk about the competition. They had a competition around where they had different talents, and everybody from the different islands competed. So they had the Bible quiz bowl, it had singing, dance, and acting, drama. And we participated in the dance, speech, and singing also, which we came third in.
Third in the singing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a great experience seeing how the different Caribbean islands has amazing talents that that they give towards God and stuff. It was a beautiful experience.
Great.
So.
It's amazing, and you'll always remember these trips whenever you go on these trips, because it open your eyes to different aspect. And I'm going to ask you this same question too. What if there's anything new or refreshing that you learned on the trip?
Well, I learned that is right. So, hold on.
Or something that you appreciate, like what they said, she saw the dolphins and she really liked that, and and all that. Was there something that sticks out that you're gonna remember about this trip?
I love the banquet night. How everybody got together, and it was like the last night. Everybody was cherishing those moments because you know the next day everybody was
We're
leaving.
gonna go.
Yes, so the banquet night was more like a little gathering of everybody. So it was very nice.
And did all of you take names and numbers? I know you all technologically savvy, so Facebook and texting and stuff like that. You're gonna stay in touch with your friends that you met at the conference.
Of course.
Yes, yes.
Cause like I said, it's not only cause me personally, I see it as if it was just me as a young person and I was around more adults in that setting, it wouldn't be. Yes, I will still be uplifted and stuff, but it wouldn't have that same effect with being around other young people that are my same age. And like I said, me for one, was able to open up to many young people from St. Kitts, Jamaica, Trinidad, all those Caribbean. And yes, currently I still do keep in touch with my friends, and I hope we will see each other sometime again. And it's just
as long as you stay in touch, and in this modern day and age, you have the means, an inexpensive means of staying in touch. You know, I remember, and don't laugh about this, but around 1965, about being around your age, 16, 17 years old at that time, going to Puerto Rico to a conference with future farmers, and we all were pretty much same age, and meeting people. But even back then, that telephone call to Puerto Rico was considered a long distance call, and you had to pay for it. Wow. And in those days, even though it might have been less than $1, that was a lot of money back then. But now you have all the social media that once you have the equipment, the computer and the cell phone and stuff, you don't have to pay. So I encourage you, if anything, that I think that you should get out of this trip, besides the spiritual nourishment that you got, is meeting friends and staying in touch and staying in communication with them. I think that'll serve you well over the years.
Quick question about how many young people were there? 1,000, 500, 700, 300? Just
approximately 800, I think.
Yeah.
And also like I said, each Caribbean country, they have their own set of districts. Like here in the Virgin Islands, we have one district. We have we have two districts. We have St. Croix and we have St. Thomas. And in St. Croix we have 4 Wesleyan churches. We have Trinity, Beeson Hill, Frederickstead, and Midland. And in St. Thomas, we have 2 Wesleyan churches, which is Faith and First Wesleyan.
Now, did each of the district and the churches send individuals, or just you guys?
Each church send their own individuals. Yes.
Right. So, how many of you from the Virgin Islands were there then? Not approximately.
About 9.
9.
St. Thomas.
Let's see, including St. Thomas. Around
about 20.
About 20, yes.
That's fantastic. I thought it was just the 4 or 5 of you that went, but yeah.
Can I make a correction, please? It wasn't 800. It was 300. I'm sorry.
300. Okay. Yeah. So there were 300 people, and 20 of us from the Virgin Islands. Well, that's a good delegation. And who did the singing? That's my interest.
The singing was done by Jermaine Edwards. We'd like to thank him very much. He he did an original piece.
Where was this from?
He's from St. Thomas.
He's from St. Thomas? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, great.
I'm sorry, his name is Paul Edwards.
Paul Edwards.
So sorry. Paul Maynard. Paul Maynard.
Get it together.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, that's all right. That's how it is. And don't rib him too much, because being on the radio, he gets nervous. I myself sometimes can't remember names and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, it happened to me this morning where I couldn't remember a name. But these type of gatherings are really important in your life, and they'll go with you for the rest of your life, and so cherish them and try to learn from them, and again stay in touch with your friends.
Well, another thing I want to talk about before I get hassled is I was able to take part in a community outreach in Jamaica in a village. I don't want to pronounce the name wrong, offend anybody. Gutters Community.
Gutters Community.
Yes, so about 15, 16 of us from the Congress were able to go to the community, and we helped to paint over their community center.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it was a fun experience. We met some people from the village. They came over, asked us questions, what we were doing, got to interact with them. Also, I was able to go down to the river. That was nice because the water is very refreshing down there.
Yeah.
So it was a nice experience. We came back very tired, and then after that had banquet. So
it was just the one-day event that you went and painted and cleaned up.
About 8 to 3.
Yeah.
Just stayed there painting, talked to people in the community, and then left. Most of us were sleeping at the end because it was a lot of work, but it was all worth it.
That's what it's all about, is community service and doing things like that, and it's good because a lot of people when they come here to the Virgin Islands do that kind of thing for us, and so it's good that we send emissaries out, people like yourself that represent us, going out and participating in different activities. So do you guys and girls have any other trips or activities that you're going to do, that you're planning currently, or?
Well, in this month, Sunday, the 20th, at 6 p.m., we're going to be having Young Preachers Sunday, which is going to be at 6 p.m., and we're going to have 3 young people, one of us. We're going to be preaching, and others are going to be taking part in either worship leading or bringing out the announcement and stuff.
Fantastic. So that's great. They participate in things like this, and I could tell you're into public speaking, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, great. And that really is going to help you a lot. Doug, anything else that we need to
a
wrap
couple
up?
of things. First of all, you asked about traveling. Well, one of the things that I know that they are involved in from time to time is called the Bible Bowl. So I'd like them to talk a little bit about Bible Bowl and the back and forth involved in terms of the travel and the competition and what's involved.
Okay, good.
Bible Bowl is basically the youths around the VI. We get scriptures and we study them, and then we compete in either St. Croix, St. Thomas, or St. John. It's going to be in St. Thomas this year, to see who is the best equipped to answer the questions.
Okay, so they just you study certain scriptures and parts of the Bible. Is that what you study?
Yes.
And then when you go to this Bible Bowl, it's like the quiz bowl.
Yes, it is.
A spelling bee, things like that, and they ask you questions, and you need to respond accordingly.
It's basically like Jeopardy. They use the same kind of concept.
Yeah. Okay,
And
great.
also you could say it's more of a Bible Jeopardy, because that's how the format is. And not only do we do it here in the Virgin Islands, but it's also done in a Caribbean scale.
Yeah. Well, that sounds very. Have you ever participated?
All of us.
Yes.
All of you have.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was the one question that stumped you? Not the one that you knew easily. The one that they asked and you couldn't figure it out.
Mostly the questions that we get nervous about answering is the verses. Like we have to remember sometimes very long verses
Yes.
that we have to answer, and we can't make any mistake, and we can't forget a word.
Yeah, you have to do it
Everything word for word.
exactly.
Precise.
Yeah, well, that will help you in the long run a lot of times, and in the long run, you'll be able to paraphrase a little bit and take liberty with the exact wording. But as long as you have it under your belt, it's something that you learn and and it will go with you a long way. Well, I want to thank you for coming back and saying thanks to us for helping you out with the fundraising. And Doug knows that anytime you're Anytime you have a need, you're welcome to come back, or even if you just call and ask us to announce something, we like to do that kind of thing. All right.
And also, we just want to thank the community again, because I mean, it was a lot of money to go into this trip, and we just want to thank the entire community, those who supported us, the funds, everything.
Fantastic.
We really appreciate it.
Great.
Well, you left out appreciation for some folks. I'm gonna bust you out here because there's some folks who work hard to drive you all up and down the place for practice, host you, feed you, and everything else. And I want to make sure next time you go, you don't starve. So just give those thank yous too.
Well, I just want to give a big shout out to Sister Dawn Sewer, Sister Jewel Canton, Brother and Sister Leroy Hamilton, the Phillips, Brother and Sister Phillip,
The grants.
all the parents, the grants. I mean, everybody from, you could say, the Trinity congregation, also the Wesleyan churches who supported us, especially when because we are a pantomime group also, and we do outreach ministry through dance in the community. So
The Ambassadors for Christ.
that's our name. And we just want to thank, like, for practices when you could say from 4 to 7 we practice, and the adults feed us. So and me for one, I love food. So
you look fit.
yes, I do eat a lot, but I just want to thank, because just the little things we have to be grateful for, and I just want to thank everyone, the churches, those guest churches also, and just the community for giving us our funds, because this was an exceptional trip for everyone, and I'm sure all of us did leave with something to remember and to hold as a good memory to
Good. All right, well, I want to thank you again for stopping by, and Doug, I hope they didn't miss anyone. Thank yous, but
No, they're doing good.
They seem to be very knowledgeable and very good at this, and I'm impressed with their public speaking ability and all that stuff. So they're being taught very well. Thanks again. All right, we're going to take a little break again, and this is WSTX 970 and your AM dial, and this is AM Friday with yours truly, Doc Peterson and Peter Abrahams, and we're going to be right back.